Well, hey, smart people. Your buddy Matt DiMaio back with you. Let me see. Looks like we're good over here. Boy, that's an awful lot of light, huh? Maybe I need to turn the lights down a little bit. I look like I'm glowing. How about this one? We need this one? You know what? We're going to put this one back on and we'll just turn it down a little bit. What do you think of that? Is that a little better? Yeah, folks, as you can tell, I'm still figuring this stuff out. But I am so pleased to have you here. So in this live stream, I've got some really cool stuff to cover with you. All right, so first of all, there's three things that I want to talk about. Number one, we're going to get into my best 5 tips for being a successful student. So the tips for summer break, things that you can do this summer break to help make you a lot stronger, smarter, and all the other good stuff that you want. All right. So number two, I want to give you an update as to some of the things that are going on with my channel right now, with the videos, with issues and problems, with my brand new video that I just uploaded yesterday on Brain Game, what to look forward to that you can expect will be coming soon. And then the third thing I want to cover, which is what I want to start with, is that it is more important to wear out than to rust out. Now, stay with me on this. You want to be busy. You want to be active. You want to make sure that whatever you do in life, that you're not rusting away. Yesterday was Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones. It was his 78th birthday. Now, here's a guy that was popular when I was a kid. And Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones is the most iconic frontman in all of rock music ever. Nobody has lasted as long as he has. Nobody has ever produced the sheer volume of music that the Rolling Stones have produced. And Mick and his partner Keith wrote almost all the songs that the Stones do. 78 years old, and the Stones are still going to be going out on tour. Here's a guy that just kept on doing what he was doing and kept on doing it and doing it and doing it. Now, whether you like him or not is not the point. What the point is that you want to wear out, do the things that you're good at, go and live your life to the fullest. Here I am, and look, I do my best to practice what I preach. Now, I'm no Mick Jagger, but I want you to be aware that I do my best to practice what I preach. I talk about being smarter, faster, and I talk to students. Well, in order for me to do this, I've got to get way outside of my comfort zone. You know, just to do this live stream. This is the first one I'm doing that was scheduled. I wasn't really quite sure how to turn it on. And the camera that I thought I was going to be using, which is an external camera plugged into this laptop, turns out that I'm using the camera that's in my laptop right now. It's not as good as the new one that I've got connected externally, but that one is not playing right now. I don't know why, but I'm going to go check it out in a moment. So I just want you to know that whenever you see me talk about stuff, I am not out there setting myself up as some know-it-all guru. And I know that that's what some of you'd like to think of me as, but that's simply not the truth. I am an eternal student. I am in love with learning new stuff. I'm constantly stretching my own capabilities. So that is the first part of what I want to talk with you about. I am not out there separate from you. I'm one of you. Now, I may not be a college student or a high school student or even in a current business student, but I am always self-educating. So that leads me to the next topic that I really want to cover with you. And now that are the promise that I made to you right from the very beginning are I want to give you the top 5 tips for you, especially if you're a college student right now, to have an ultra successful summer break. Now, you may or may not be on summer break. You may be in summer school. You may be working. You may be one of the employed people that I have out there. And thank God for all of you. But here are my 5 tips for being a very successful student during the summer break. All right. Number one, I want you to learn a new skill. All right. So, you know what? I think my air conditioner just turned on. So now you're going to hear air conditioning noise in the background. Oops. I hope it's not too distracting. But all right. So, but I got distracted. All right. So let me get back to it. All right. So number one, learn a new skill. One of the best things that you can do is to learn a musical instrument. Now, you may or may not want to do that, but to pick up the guitar or an even easier instrument to get the basics on is the piano. Now, I'm a keyboard player, so I'm a little biased in that area. But the piano is one of the very few things in the world where one finger can make one note. And like if you played saxophone or flute or violin or guitar, you need 2 hands to make most of your notes. But with the piano, one finger can make one note. And as a result, it's the easiest to learn the basics. Now, you don't need to take lessons out there. There's tons of stuff right on YouTube that you can go and take some lessons. But it is one of the coolest things in the world to be able to do is to learn to play a musical instrument. All right. And by the way, everybody wants to make music. If you give yourself that gift, it's incredible. Years ago, before I left New Jersey and moved to the Caribbean island of Trinidad, I was actually doing music therapy with senior citizens. My youngest student was in their late 50s. My oldest student was a man 98 years old. And this guy came in and his fingers were all knotted up with arthritis. And I taught him how to play the organ. And let me tell you, it was one of the coolest things in the world I ever did, because these are people that all their life wanted to make music come out of their hands. And I got to be the one to help them to do that. All right. But music, learning a new skill, it doesn't just have to be a new instrument. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Look, here in the United States, Spanish has become a really popular language. So depending on where you go, if I live in Florida, and if you go down to Miami, most of the people speak Spanish. Or wherever it is that you live, you may want to learn to speak a second language. This is the perfect time to do it. And there are so many language apps out there that make it easier than ever before. All right, so maybe you don't want to play a musical instrument. Maybe you don't want to learn another language. How about this? Learn how to cook. Now, if you're living on your own, that's something that could be very valuable. And if it's not just cooking, maybe you already know how to cook. Learn how to bake. Oh man, everybody likes baked goods. And fellas, especially those of you that are single, women really like a guy who can cook. Take it from me. I was single until I was 43 years old. So it's a good idea, fellas. All right. Okay. So that's number one, is learn a new skill. Number two, learn a hobby. Get a hobby. Do something with your time. Expand yourself. Now, my daughter took up roller skating. Now, for her 16th birthday, we bought her roller skates, and they sat in the closet and then in the trunk of her car for a couple of years. And then she had some friends that got roller skates. Now, I'm not talking about single line roller blades. I'm talking about actual roller skates, the 4-wheel kind. So now she regularly roller skates with her friends. Here's something else she did. She learned how to knit. Knit. We live in Florida. And so, but her very first project, some people start with easy stuff. They might knit a scarf or a handkerchief or, a doily. She decided that she was going to take on knitting an entire sweater. She got the inspiration from one of her favorite musical people is Harry Styles. And Harry had this photo of him wearing this really cool sweater. And my daughter, Alina, decided she was going to make that sweater. And wouldn't you know it, She taught herself how to knit, sitting there in her bedroom by herself with her phone playing YouTube videos in the background. She wound up knitting a whole sweater. And yes, every now and then it's cold enough in Florida that she gets to wear it a couple of times. Um, you don't like any of those suggestions. How about collecting something? You can collect coins. Collecting coins is a great hobby. There's a lot to know. But maybe that's not your thing. You want to take a look at whatever it is your interests are and study more about that. Turn it into a hobby. Make business stuff fun. All right. So those are my first two tips. Number one, learn a new skill. Number two, get a new hobby. Number three, especially if you're college age right now, get an internship. Yes, apply for an internship. Now, it's not paid, but you're going to get valuable work experience. And you may discover that the field that you thought you wanted to go into is not where you want to be spending your time. Or you might make a connection or make a contact that is going to serve you well later in life. So, internships, that's my third tip. Number four, volunteer. Folks, the world needs more volunteers. Help somebody else. Do any of you ever have a problem with depression? If you do, there is no better cure than coming outside of yourself and going to help someone who is less fortunate. There are lots of different opportunities to volunteer depending what your interests are. So it can be something that's socially conscious. It could be things in your community. It could be part of a big organization. It could be just going to the children's hospital. But do something to volunteer. Take and give of yourself to other people. And I will tell you that you will be rewarded by God and by the universe over and over again. Now, don't volunteer for that reason. Don't volunteer for the idea that you're going to get something back other than a really good feeling that you did it. But the truth is, you will get back more than you give out. And my fifth tip, correct a weakness. Correct a weakness. Look at yourself. Do you maybe have body issues? Maybe there's something about the way you are right now. You're too big, you're too little, you're too something or other. Well, this is a good time during summer break to work on yourself. Work on yourself physically. Get yourself in healthy shape. Get yourself in condition. Maybe that's not the issue. Maybe you have a problem with public speaking. Maybe that's a weakness. You're scared to death. Well, join a group. Toastmasters are all over the place. I don't care what country you live in, there's going to be some kind of a group. And at the very least, you can go online. Maybe public speaking is not your problem. Maybe it's writing. Maybe you're terrible at writing essays. Well, join a group that helps young writers, that helps people change their abilities. Writing is one of the most important things you can do to be successful. Listen to me. Speaking in front of groups of people and being a good writer are two of the most important skills you will ever have to be successful at anything you do in business, especially if you aspire to any kind of leadership role. You cannot be a good leader unless you learn how to be a good speaker in groups of people. And a great way to become a good speaker is to first become a good writer, be able to collect your thoughts and deliver them easily. All right, so those are my top 5 tips. Learn a new skill, get a new hobby, get an internship, volunteer, correct a weakness. Got it? Good. Okay, next, I've got some updates for you regarding what's happening with my YouTube videos. So if you subscribe to my channel with notifications on, hopefully you got the notice that I uploaded a brand new video yesterday called Brain Game. Now, Go check it out. And by the way, it's already doing real well. Got a lot of views already, a lot of cool comments. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. This is a game that you can do with two or more. It's a lot of fun. I invented this game with my daughter when she was really little, but my wife and I have played it. You can play with any number of people. You don't need any special equipment, not even a pad and a pen. It's a lot of fun. And it really gets your mind sharp. It develops powers of memory. It develops powers of observation, of concentration, of focus, and it's a hoot. All right. But when I first tried to premiere it on Saturday, I had all sorts of technical problems. Oh my goodness, I was pulling my hair out. No, I don't want to pull too much of it out. Anyway, um, the version that I uploaded on Saturday had so many bugs in it, you would think I was building ant colonies. It was it was blank spaces and the audio was doubled. I got to tell you, I was embarrassed. So here I am. I'm uploading my first real video after 3 months of not posting any videos, and the first one blows up during the premiere. And now some people told me to keep it secret. And socializing college and new students, I see you there, Space Track. I may get to that in a minute if we have some time at the end. Let me tell you this. Some people would try and hide the problems that they deal with. And I've had other people that consult to me that give me advice. Oh, geez, just stay on the pedestal. Don't let them see, the wrinkles or that you've got problems. But that's not my style. I don't want to be up there. I want to be here with you. I want you to know that I have problems too. And sometimes things blow up on me. But the difference is when I get down, I don't stay down. Yes, I get down. I was really bummed out that my first upload, I was all excited about the new video. I got embarrassed. Here, I'm all proud of something. I put it up and it was horrible. All kinds of mistakes. So I took it down. I apologized. I sent out a note to everybody in the YouTube chats and the posts and the comments. Let them know. Sorry, messed up. Took it down, found out what was wrong, reposted it yesterday without any fanfare. So I'm proud of the video, but go take a look at it. You'll see it's a pretty cool game. Now, one of the things that I've noticed while shooting new videos is that I got a brand new camera. I got this one right here. Come on over here, camera. I got this camera. It's the new Canon G7X. This is the Mark III. And on this camera, I'm able to do what I'm not able to do here, and that is use a live mic. Right now, I'm using the microphone in my laptop, so the sound is a little hollow. But when I use that one, I'm able to use a lavalier, and the sound is really clear. Well, with that camera, when I bought it, everybody said, that's the camera to buy. Well, I got to tell you, there's a bug with that camera on the autofocus. And so what happens is it goes in and out of focus. So yesterday, I'm online trying to figure out, okay, I've got to download bug fixing software to that camera and learn how to fix the autofocus. Now, I've shot 2 videos with that camera with the wacky, hinky focus so far. One of them I've already posted, that's Brain Game. The other one I'm editing right now, and it is the one, now listen to this, it is the one big secret to becoming a successful student. In truth, it's the one big secret to becoming successful at anything. Now, I've already written it, I've already filmed it, but again, the focus is a little in and out. You know what? I'm going to edit it the best I can. I'm going to post it anyway. If the focus is a little bit hinky, I'll get better next time. Now, after the, so be on the lookout for the one big secret to being a successful student. That should be out in a couple of days. All right. Now, I've been a guest on a couple of different famous people's podcasts, and they were filmed. So I'm going to be putting up an episode of a show that I did with a pretty well-known guy by the name of Rob Cosberg, and he interviewed me about some of my books. And I want to talk about the idea of leaving a legacy and how you probably have a book in you. I know you may not think you do yet, but you probably do. It's one of the greatest experiences of your life to write a book. So I'm going to have this interview that I did with Rob up pretty soon. Now, next Tuesday, I will be a guest on radio again. Here in the Tampa Bay market, we have an extremely popular afternoon drive time show. And the host of that show has had me on a bunch of times. Well, recently, I did a guest shot with him, and I was talking about something I call the 6 steps to learning. Now, in the 6 steps to learning, I break down what the learning process is. Now, the interesting part about it is also the secret to becoming ultra persuasive with other people. You see, if you understand how you learn, I can also show you how other people learn. When you understand how somebody absorbs information, that gives you the ability to learn anything yourself, but it also gives you the ability to present things in such a way to get them to learn it too. So when he heard me talking about this, he said, we have got to do a segment together on negotiating skills. Now, he's a student of a guy that does hostage negotiations, so really high level stuff. So next Tuesday, I'm going to be in his radio station studio filming that, and that'll be up probably sometime next week, so you can look forward to that. Also, on this idea of the 6 steps to learning, I did an audio podcast with somebody who's truly a world famous speaker by the name of Myron Golden. If you don't know who he is, look him up online, Myron Golden. And Myron had me on to talk to his audience about learn faster to earn faster. And in my learn faster to earn faster segment, I talked about the 6 steps to learning. And I got into a lot of detail. Now it's audio only. So I'm going to have some images that are going to go along with it, but I'm in the process of editing that now, and I'm going to be posting that soon. So be on the lookout for it. Now, this is going to be one of those things that you can use some of that software on YouTube and just grab the audio. You can put it into your MP3 player or put it into your phone, and you can walk around or put it in your car, and you can listen to this hour-long segment about the 6 steps to learning. It is, I tell you this, you've never heard anybody else talk about this anywhere, but it will change the entire way that you deal with other people. It'll not only help you be able to learn whatever you want easier yourself, because you'll understand what process you're going through. It'll help you understand how to present information to other people so that you can be more persuasive. Is that a pretty good deal? You bet. Now, who do you need to be persuasive with? Even if you're not in sales or not in business, how many of you are the parents of children? Yeah, you got to be persuasive with your kids. Now, not all of you are the parents of children, but how many of you are the children of parents? Well, that's a much bigger group. All right, but so there's other people you've got to be persuasive with. Maybe it's your professors, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your other family members. Understanding these 6 steps will help you be really persuasive with other people. All right. So that's a little bit about my upcoming videos. At this point, let's take a look at the time. We have, let's see, and Kasha Tripathi. It's a little hard for me to read without my glasses on. I'm too vain to wear my glasses while I'm doing this. Um, yes, drop me a line. You'll see my email below this, and I'll respond to that. I'm not sure what the situation there is. Please analyze the competitive exams like NEET. Yes, I'm going to be doing some stuff. Now, I want you to understand when I do exam preparation and exam testing and test taking tactics, I don't get into the specifics of NEET or JEET or the SAT or the LSAT. Um, the techniques for doing well on exams are the same regardless of the content. Get that. I can help you get a better score on tests, even if you don't know the material any better than you do right now. You see, when you're taking an exam, you're really being tested on two things. Number one, of course, how well you know the material. But number two is how well you take tests. And this is something that almost nobody teaches. So I specialize in it. As a matter of fact, years ago, I'm going back to 1986, maybe 1987. I was actually traveling around the United States helping people with the air traffic controller's exam. You know what an air traffic controller is. They work at the airport, make sure that the airplanes are taking off and landing properly. Well, I didn't know. I'm not a pilot. And one of the things that we offered was a money back guarantee. If you took the air traffic controller's exam and didn't get a score of at least a 90, not passed, that you didn't get an A, you get at least a 90, we'd give you your money back. Never had anybody ask for their money back when they took one of my classes. Now, I didn't write the material. I actually was working with the two men that were formerly the guys who trained air traffic controllers who wrote a course. I went out and I delivered this course for them. So it was at that time that I began to realize it doesn't matter what the content is. There are certain strategies that you can use that'll help you get a better score. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Space track. Glad to hear it. Self-esteem. You know what? I'm going to be covering that as you go. And listen, just watch a lot of my videos and just stay tuned. I don't have any specific tips to tell you, do this for your self-esteem. Not just yet anyway, but that's a good topic. I'll think about that. Balancing a full-time job with studying. Listen, my own daughter is 20 years old. I'm a much older dad, as I've told you. Those of you who are tuning in, you'll know that I'll be 70 on my next birthday. So next March, I'll be 70 years old. My only kid is 20. My only kid is 20. I don't have other marriages and other children out there. And so I'm at an age when everybody else is a contemporary of mine, has grandchildren the age of my daughter. She holds down a full-time curriculum at Florida State University. She's been not just Dean's List, but she's been President's List a number of times. She's always Dean's List, but she's also been President's List. That's where you have perfect scores. And she holds down essentially what's a full-time job working in retail. And she's continued to get promotions. Look, it's a matter of scheduling your time. You've got to kind of like segment your brain if you're going to do that. You've got to have rules for yourself. You've got to have a schedule for yourself. If you're doing things haphazardly, it's just going to be a big mess and it's going to be all over the place. But the more you can schedule yourself, and I'm talking about actually keeping a calendar and scheduling, okay, I'm going to do this and then I'm doing that, and that'll really help you out tremendously. Oh, we got somebody else over here who's spamming again. Brandon, who is spamming? Aptitude development apps help. I don't know if they do or not. I haven't ever used any aptitude development apps. So I'm going to check them out. As a matter of fact, in some future videos, I'm going to be taking a look at different types of apps. For example, I'll be taking a look at some of the different memory apps that are out there. I'm going to take a look at some of the note-taking apps. Now, I'm not a big fan of apps. I got to tell you, especially when it comes to note-taking. Now, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here because I may have to backtrack and eat those words if it turns out that one or two of these apps are really, really great. I'm a big fan of writing things down by hand because your mind goes through a completely different process. And we're going to wrap up with this because I see that I've got a lot of good questions here. Like, how do I find my life purpose? I don't know. You just got to try a lot of different things, and your life's purpose may change. My purpose now is not the purpose that I had when I was 20. And so don't think of your life purpose as one thing. And it gets revealed to you. It's like a flower that opens up a little at a time. So don't pressure yourself. Go and do things that are rewarding to you and that help benefit other people somehow. Things that make you feel good to do. Don't do things just for the money. Yes, obviously money is important. But if you only do things for the money, you're going to feel empty inside. You have to have a balance. You have to have a combination of the financial reward along with that soul satisfaction of doing something that turns you on. And sometimes it's doing the things that turn you on that don't pay very well, but can ultimately lead to tremendous success. But my purpose now was revealed. What I'm doing now, I didn't start out planning on doing this. It was revealed to me a little at a time, and I just kept pursuing it, one foot in front of the other. What is it? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with but a single step. Thanks for your vids. I'm glad that my videos are helping you read textbooks. By the way, I'm going to be expanding. One of my upcoming videos will be to expand that whole topic of how to absorb textbooks like a sponge. And I want to go outside of textbooks. And I'm going to be talking about how to absorb PDFs, how to absorb lecture notes, how to absorb PowerPoint presentations. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a perfect example. For my new camera, right now, in order to learn how to use this thing properly, I have a PDF. I'm going to actually show you the process that I use to be able to learn how to use gadgets and stuff better. Because this is going to be something that you're going to use way beyond school. I'm still learning how to use a million different gadgets that I never had to do before. And for example, I'm learning how to do live streams and learning how to do lighting with camera. This has all been a learning process. So like I said, right from the very beginning, and we're going to wrap up with this, I am not one of these people that pretends that I already know it all, that I am out there somewhere above you. No. I do my best to stay with you, to get into your mindset and to be one of you. I am an eternal student. And like they say, the best way to learn is to teach. And so me teaching helps me learn it twice because it forces me to be consistent and compliant with my own good word. Well, I see that we've got a whole lot of where's how to absorb textbooks like a sponge V2. That's exactly what we're talking about right now. And that will be coming up soon, probably about halfway through the month of August. So in time for your new school semester. All right. This has been a wonderful live stream. Thank you all. I mean, we've got how to get six-pack abs. Brandon, if that's what you really want, there's a lot of videos online about doing it. Please do a biography of yourself, okay? I'm happy. I love talking about myself. I'll be happy to talk about that. Unable to understand online lectures. Let me tell you something. A lot of you have some really great questions, and I will do my best to answering them and to getting to all of them as soon as we can. but I'm looking at the time and we are a little bit more than 5 minutes over what I had planned on doing. I don't want to talk your ears off, and I am thrilled. Listen to me. I am thrilled to see you all out there. I dig this so much that I've got this connection with you and that you've got this connection with me. I will always do what I can to honor it. I'll never treat this lightly. It's a really big deal for me to have you all there. And so I'm always going to do whatever I can to treat you really well, as if you're my own nieces and nephews. So here is your favorite Uncle Matt, as always, reminding you that everything I talk about, like those 5 tips for being a successful student I talked about earlier, everything takes a little bit of work and effort. Always remember that the fastest way to get to the top, you know what comes next. Fastest way to the top, get off your bottom. Right, Brandon. Thank you so much. That's the end of this live stream. Keep your eyes out for the one big secret to being a successful student coming at you later this week. And I will talk to you all soon. God bless.